Okay, quick intro for you guys. I'm here with my big brother Jim, or James as they know you. And we're actually putting a lift kit. Yeah, no, this is Danner. We're putting a 3-inch lift kit on my truck, and the kit that I got was from RockyMountainSuspension.com, made by Zone. Is it Zone Off-Road?
Zone, yeah.
Zone Off-Road. So listen, I picked this kit. This was not given to me. I did research. I wanted to put a lift kit on my truck because I'm tired of pulling up next to these stock F-150s or 250s that are towering over me. So, you know, I got these little weenie tires on there right now anyway, but I wanted a mild lift, one that wasn't going to be too aggressive and give me driveline vibrations because I'm anal as I've gotten older and I hate vibrations. So I picked this kit. It's a 3-inch kit, and one of the main reasons I picked this one is the offset upper ball joint. So the issue with the torsion bar suspension systems is when you jack up the torsion bars and raise the front end, you put your upper ball joint at a weird angle, and it causes wear and tear on the ball joint. And so with this kit, it actually offsets the ball joint so it sits more naturally.
You can film my 92 Blazer. All I did was put these keys in with 2,500 torsion bars, crank them up, and my control, everything's stretched out.
Did you kill your ball joints yet?
Wheel bearings so far because I got a Myers Western plow on.
That's cool. But actually my one ball joint on the left side too has a little bit of play in it, and so it was twofold for me. One is replacing the whole control arm, which is how GM does it, and I was going to have to do that anyway, and so we're putting this kit on here and killing two birds with one stone. So listen, real quick, that was the intro, and I'm cutting off the top of my head for that whole intro. I don't know if we'll use any of that, but we have laid on the table here pretty much the whole kit. Oh, and some Panera dinner. So let me just get you a quick shot of what's here, and then we're gonna head over to the truck and start. Real fast, let's talk about what's in the kit. It came with 4 shocks. The front shocks came with extenders that give you a little bit more travel. I guess the rear shocks are probably a little bit longer than stock is my guess. We have new keys, and some of the main components or main things we'll be doing is dropping the front differential by, I believe, 2 inches. So we have some brackets that we need to put on for the front diff, and then you see the blocks over there for the rear. So those are, I believe those are 2-inch blocks, and they're tapered a little bit to keep your driveline angle right, and then we have upper control arm. So that's pretty much it for the kit, and we're really not sure where we're starting yet, so let's go to the truck.
Where do you need me to point it?
All right, well, the only thing you missed so far is we just pulled the skid plates off. I'll hold the light and you just be my pointer here.
Okay.
We are concerned about one piece. Just talk about that for a second.
Right over in this area. Can you get the camera around in here?
Yeah.
It looks like for this bracket to work, we need to cut this tube, part of this lower cross member that's pretty much just connecting the lower half between the 2 control arms. Cut this tube off right here. Get this out of the way. Take the whole differential housing out because we probably gotta have to mess with the mount up here. Can you get up to that one right there? Where my finger's pointing.
Yep.
We're gonna have to unbolt that one, and that's what those 2 little pieces I think they want you to weld if you can.
Gotcha.
So we can drop that. But then this,
show that bracket.
This heavy bracket here is gonna. They actually want us to take and measure 2 1/8 from the center of this lower control arm hole and cut the edge of this pocket off, because the differential lower mount is going to actually sit in this pocket now, and then you're going to have these 2 bolts here. They're going to bolt back up into this control arm, and then you got your lower control arm bolt will go back into here. So we're taking a maybe an 1/8-inch piece of metal and putting 1/4-inch metal in there, so I don't feel too bad about it.
Yeah. But if we do
when
this,
you gotta cut something, you're always like,
I know.
like we're gonna cut it.
Here.
And I just scratched your paint.
It's okay. And my concern is if we cut this lower control arm, whatever we call this cross member, this mounting bracket, it's welded to the frame. So we can't do this wrong. We have one shot at getting this right, and you know, we'll be sure that we include all of this for any of you guys doing this in the future.
And call Paul at the car dealership trading it in when we're done.
If we screw it up. But so what are we doing first? We're going to...
I'm going to unwind the torsion bars.
Yep.
Need this tool right here. I'm going to take the tires off. I'm going to take the upper ball joint off. We'll do the control arms later. But
and the shocks.
And the shocks. And I need to allow the spindle to move out of the way.
Okay.
So in case we do have to take this completely out, we can just
because the instructions are telling us to take the entire front differential out.
But if you let the wheels kick out, then we can take these axle flange bolts off and let the axles swing out of the way, you know, and then we can take these two bolts out and those ones, get this cross member out and just drop the whole thing out. So
yeah, that's pretty much what they were telling you to do, I think.
Take the drive shaft, you know, the four drive shaft.
Okay, so as we're sitting here debating on what to do first, brake lines, you know, easy stuff, shocks, we just decided we'll follow it the way the instructions have it, which is page 1. What are we doing first? Taking the keys out, right?
Yeah. Technical support, product safety warning, all this stuff I never read because I was that kid that never read the directions. Did you ever take a test in school?
What test?
The one where it had a whole bunch of questions on it, and the first one at the top said don't answer any question on the test.
I'm pretty sure
I was the guy erasing all the answers
at the end.
I didn't read the instructions.
Same.
So
okay.
Anyway, so there was that, and then, you know, pretty much they want you to measure. But you already cranked your torsion bars.
There's no reason to measure. I did. In fact,
we're going to get a level. We're going to line it anyway.
I should have mentioned that I had raised my torsion bars.
You probably already cranked an inch into it already.
An inch or two, yeah. Whenever I never liked the rake that these things had. So you know, they sat real high in the back and. Anyway.
Well, it's a 2500. You're supposed to use it as a truck, man. Load it up and it'll be level.
Even loaded up with firewood, it still sat level. It's you know, it's a badass truck.
All right, so anyway, remove the wheels, raising support. There we are.
All right.
So I started taking this stuff off because when you take the upper control arm bolt, they don't want the brake hoses and the ABS. You know, when I let this swing out here, they don't want this actually holding the weight. So, but that skipped a step. So they go here. We're removing the torsion bars. I'm going to take the truck up. We're going to set up the tool, pull the bolts out, pull the inserts out, and hopefully, I actually had to cut my torsion bars. Mine was a 92 rust bucket though. I cut them.
Let's hope not.
And then, because I put 2500 torsion bars.
Well, this will be my first time doing this, so you're going to have to show me how it's done.
I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Okay. Off camera, you just backed that bolt off a little bit. Why'd you do that?
Well, you had it cranked the whole way up, so I didn't really feel like taking this tool and putting the torsion pressure you had already on this bolt. What you're doing is you're taking this special tool, and there's a notch.
So the tool enables you to take
that bolt and that little
threaded piece out.
Yeah, I don't even know what you would call it, a lag.
So there's all that pressure is on that. That's why you can't get that out, and then the tool would compress it.
Yeah, so this tool, it's got a notch. It's got a notch here that goes into a hole up there.
Yep.
And it has a rounded.
Can't see that. Okay.
This notch goes into a hole up on the top, and then if you can look right here, I don't know if you can see that divot.
Yep.
That's where the other end of this tool sets up in there.
Okay.
And then I can push that keyway up and take all the load off of this bolt.
Let me see. So that's this piece on the side that I'm looking at. We need to get the pressure.
I need to take this bolt totally out. This bolt that you use to adjust the height.
Yeah, but we need the pressure off of this piece right here.
Yes.
What are you looking at?
I want to get the weight off of. See how when I crank it up, this. See how this is loose now?
Yep.
So now your bolt is no longer holding the weight of your truck.
Makes sense. Yep.
It's now my tool.
Yep.
Well, actually, the truck's up in the air, so it's unloaded.
Right.
So it's just the spring pressure. So at that point, I might have to actually take this bolt out first.
Because that's in your way.
And let it rest on that thing because it's in my way now. So this is only really my second or third time messing with one of these.
Well, it's my first. So.
A virgin torsion bar.
Yep.
So I think because that little key can actually hold it, I think it's going to take your bolt the whole way up. So that
you
bolt,
felt comfortable doing that?
yeah, because it's actually loose already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but this piece isn't going to come out until I get it up out of the way, because you'll see it's
I got you.
It's notched in there. So you're not under a whole lot of weight right now because we have the truck lift. You know what I mean? That's all.
Tires are off, and
tires are off the ground. The control arms are hanging.
That's right.
So, although the book says injury and death, I mean, if you had this sitting on this rack without, this thing would come swinging out of there. So
we're getting the weight off of that.
Getting the weight off of this so I can get this piece.
That's cool.
Right out of here.
Yeah.
See the notch?
Yep.
And it sits right in the frame, and the key just, you know, rests on there when you take it off.
And then we're just gonna loosen that all the way?
At this point, yeah, then I can take this totally off, and you can see it was already loose, so yours isn't even gonna come flush like mine did. And at that point, then, you know, we're gonna have to probably beat on the torsion bar to get it broken free from the front control arm.
Yeah.
Once this is out of the way, you can see the key's loose, the torsion bar's loose, so I can swing it out of the way. And then the goal here is to get something, whether it's an air chisel back here, and pound your torsion bar forward
to get the key out.
So this key drops out.
That was a piece of cake.
You see how I caught that?
I missed it. I'm sure it'll be cool in the editing. So show me the difference between the two keys now.
So here's your key.
Yeah, I want to see the offset.
Looks like someone already put them in there. No, okay. It's not much. Can you see?
So you're line the hex part so I can see it.
I'm lined. Okay. So
yeah, that'd be easier for the camera. Yeah.
Not much.
So you're talking.
But you know, but you're talking about this. A 1 inch here is probably going to equate to an inch and a half. You know, I mean, there are 2 inches. You know, I mean, I don't know what the geometry is, but that's all you're doing. So you can wind up the torsion bar tighter. Okay. Which in turn pulls the lower control arm down, which will raise the front of the truck. Okay. So that's where we're at.
So we leaving that out. We're not.
I'm going to leave it out for now because we're going to be messing with that control arm anyway. You know, so I'm half tempted to, if I can get it through the control arm of the truck, pull it back and let it rest back here, because we're going to be messing with that bolt.
Here, I'm going to go up front.
Good. Here's where the torsion bar came through the control arm. So if I can,
give me the light. Keep blinded. You keep blinding us.
Sorry. Everybody knows how great my camera skills are.
So you want to pull that out all the way?
I don't have to. I was
just to get it. I mean, it's not really going to be in the way.
No, it's not. But we're going to have to take this bolt out completely. We're going to loosen both of these here shortly. Right. So, but I'm just going to leave that loose so it can twist there, and we're not fighting torsion at all. Okay. So, all
right. Wait. Before you do this, if you take this all the way out without supporting it, we're still going to rest on this piece. Yep. So we're safe, and because our control arms are hanging, we're jacked up under the frame, as you guys can see. That takes the pressure off of it anyway, right?
So, I mean, there's some pressure on it. You know, I mean, you don't want your fingers in there, but you're not dying over it. In fact, the last one I pulled off was still a little bit loose even when I had the bolt out. So I have the bolt totally out, and I can still move this key. So, I mean, there's a little bit of pressure. Like, I can't push it up. You know, I need the tool to do it, but it's not under heavy load.
So someone that doesn't have this tool, would a ball joint press work in here?
I suppose you could make something.
Didn't you
like
use
that?
a ball joint press when you did these before?
No, I think maybe I'd tried it with one, but just because you have to get up in here. Yeah. You know, I think I might have done that one time, because you're not dealing with a whole lot of pressure at this point. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what, though, having the right tool for the job is.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's such a simple tool too.
I think they're like 50.
And for you guys watching too, you notice we're not using an air tool on this clamp. I mean, I've seen guys destroy
hub sharks and stuff.
Oh yeah, using air tools.
Yeah, these aren't made for that kind of stuff. So here's
piece of cake. Yeah.
Now, just from my own experience, see, this one, yours is marked. Does the other one have an L on it?
No.
Does that have an L? Yeah, see, you might not be able to see it because I rotated it, but that says LGK. Can you see the L on it? Upside down. It's upside down where my thumb is.
Maybe.
Let me push it out. There
Okay.
See the LGK?
Yeah.
See how the other one says RGK?
Yep.
When I did my torsion bars on my Blazer, my plow truck, I got them from a junkyard. I didn't know they were left and right. So I just grabbed one, I put it in. I actually pulled the threads out of this bolt, doing what you were saying. I cranked it as hard as I could. I'm like, man, I need to get an impact on there. I couldn't get it to go up and high enough to get the bolt in, or to get that lag in. And when I did get it in, I set the truck down and it was like brick hard. I couldn't move it. And then I realized that there was a left and right torsion bar. Now I think your keys are the same.
They are. They look the same.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're clocked, right? Because one sits this way and one sits this way.
But the torsion bars
are different left and right.
So if you're replacing your torsion bars, you guys need to be aware of that.
Yeah, because I ruined the bolt. I had this bolt is new. I bought it. I borrowed this one, and the threads were better than the bolt threads. But I took it to a machine shop and had them ream.
Why are you tightening? You should be loosening.
Oh yeah, because you have me.
Oh no, that's okay. That's.
I just gotta get it up to camp in the spring.
Wait, hold on. I want to get a better angle at this.
You want to get it coming out of the control arm up front?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
So here's where I'm hitting. Of course, it's gonna fight me now on this one.
Yeah, go ahead. Sweet.
Did we set them next to each other?
Yes, they were identical keys.
So then in this one, just because we can, I'm gonna get a little bit of grease. Just to slide it back together.
We haven't even done the hard part of this job yet. This is easy.
Well, depends what kind of your truck you're doing this on. This can be the hard part.
And the camera makes everything longer.
Yeah.
Now, does it matter where you start your hex? Like when you put that back in, it doesn't matter?
Nah, it's all the same.
Okay. As long as we gotta line it back up into the control arm.
Yeah, it fell through there. So.
Okay.
Now this is what you'll notice on this one when I get this in. See how now it's flush. Remember how at the beginning I said it might be flush with your cross member? The offset keys are flush. Yours was sitting way up in here. That difference when it was loose.
So I didn't notice how much higher up.
Well, I remember it was all the way above here. It was still loose. I could wiggle this back and forth when the tension was off of it, right? You know what I mean? Now we're at this point. I can't. You know what I mean? So we definitely when we put this back together, I'm going to be putting more crank on this to get it up and to be able to get
So
there.
for someone that's never done this like me, I mean, couldn't you make a mistake and have it too far up to start with? I mean, that would be foolish to do that to us, but couldn't you could put this in where you're angled up too high to begin with, or you're angled way down here.
Well, I mean, I suppose if you looked at it, you could, you know, I mean, I don't know how, I don't know, just, well, you want to see what it'll do?
I mean, because
if I went down here,
exactly,
you know, you're talking, I mean, if it was spline like a 12 point where you had options, you know what I mean, then I don't even know if I can get that up in there. It won't fit. I don't think it'll even. It does.
Yeah,
so you'll never. I mean, you'll never crank.
Right.
That,
so
you know
for the rookie here, like myself, I mean, obviously I know that wouldn't work. But I mean, some people would do this and they'd be like,
I can get another 6 inches out of it if I rotate it down there.
you're talking death if you try to compress that.
Sure. I mean, you don't know what would happen to the bar. So. But it also doesn't want to fit up in that pocket real well. With you can see all this rust hitting. Like, I think it's see how it's tapered.
When there's a will, there's a way for the inexperienced.
Got my used car guy just came in.
Okay, cool. So then we just put it back together, and that's why they tell you to count the threads, I guess, or measure.
Well, we
don't care.
If you wanted to, you could say to see if you got the lift you wanted. If you put it right back where you had it, even side to side, but we're going to do ride height. We're going to probably go around the block once or twice, get it settled right before we even set the alignments.
And we'll do that compared to the rear and what it looks like in the rear, and raise it and make it even.
So I mean, yeah, I mean that's like a starting point. Like if you wanted to count the turns and see where you're at, but you know you had the one crank the whole way up.
I did.
This one you had about a ½ inch showing. That's just your baseline.
Okay, so what are we doing?
I was just gonna see what kind of load I'm actually putting this under to put this side together, because we're not messing with the lower control arm on that side. So we can actually put this key all the way in position and put the I don't even know what I keep calling it something different every time. The
whatever
you call it.
Yeah.
The insert. I might as well slide that in and get this sitting where it's going to be. But I can just feel right now how much more pressure just to even get it past the point of sliding that piece in. So Nick over there, he's the smart one. We got this on the alignment rack just because this is more steady than my 9,000 pound racks. And he's like, you're gonna put that lift on, then you won't be able to put the tires back on, because we were cranking this up. So he could be right. We might have that in the blooper for him. Crap, how do we get it off the rack? Because you can see I have blocks of wood holding this up.
All right, so we want to get past that.
So I can slide this piece in here, and then the notches sit in there.
We should put some anti-seize on that bolt.
How about purple grease? No,
that works. Some purple grease, just some kind of lubricant would be cool.
Watch, they probably say don't lubricate it because it'll back out.
Why would you not want to lubricate it? I don't think
like,
there's so much pressure on that.
Every 10,000 miles, I lose a ½ inch.
So right now, you have that in there. You could actually take the C-clamp off now.
I'm going to,
I mean, before you even tighten that. Or are you going to snug it up some?
Well, no, because I want to make sure that I actually hit the notch in here. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I want this.
Okay.
I want it centered. Go the wrong way. I want it centered here. Since I did that, but I want to make sure I get up in the notch with the end of this.
Yeah.
And make sure that this is centered pretty nice.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
so there's a notch. There's a notch on top.
There's a notch at this.
On top of this, though, there's a notch.
No, in the key.
In here. Is this notched?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, but there's a notch in the key.
That's all right. We'll ignore that. Good. We're in a shop. Air compressor's running.
Wait till you set the CO detector on.
Well, we're not running the thing.
I'm centered in there. I can crank it up and my pull's loose now.
Gotcha.
So we'll leave it half where you had it before.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just so there's no reason to crank it up yet.
Okay.
You know, but you can see we're only a ½ inch away from where it was loose before, and you used to have twice the amount of thread left.
I see that. All right, well, I'm not going to show the other side.
That's how that goes together. So once we're done, we can say we have the other key in, and that's all.
We'll show the final adjustments, but I'm not going to show the other key being installed.